The next thing I'll talk about real quickly here is this idea of apply during import. So you can make some quick decisions here and you can apply them at the time of import. So for example, if you've taken the time to do a color checker profile specifically for your camera lighting situation, under develop settings it would show up here and you could actually apply it. So you could apply it and it would be a user preset here. Now I don't have that set up right now. I'll talk about that in a different movie, but that would be a cool thing that could be done here. What I am more focused about is the second one here, which is metadata. And with the metadata, we're going to talk about the idea of a template. So I'm going to click on here. Now I have one kind of set up here from the past, but I'm going to make it a new one so I can show you from the very beginning. So I click on new. This pops up and it looks really similar to the back of the first page in the handout that actually it's really similar to the second page of the handout that I passed out in class. So here you just do it however you want to do it. So typically it would be for you, so you'd have your last name, and then a lot of times it's good to kind of keep this somewhat generic. So I'm going to call this HS copyright, and then 2014, so that I know it's good for that year. So I've got that set up there, and then I'm going to go ahead and put some things that I can leave in here that'll be good permanently, and I can apply them to everything. You could make it client specific, or you can make it broad in general. I'm going to do this to be broad in general right now, and then change things accordingly later. So over here, copyright, I'm going to go ahead and use that copyright symbol, and that would be an Alt G, and that gives me the copyright symbol 2014, and then it would be the photographer's name. Copyright status is known. I'm going to make it copyrighted. Rights usage terms. Here this is interesting, so I'm going to go and type this in for this client, and I'd have to change the names later, but it's pretty easy to change names to some degree later, so that's not going to bug me too much. So here I go. I'm going to say Hector Reyes, which is the photographer, has full reproduction and distribution rights. And then I'd put down a client having that as well for this person's assignment. It would be different maybe depending on other projects. So here it's going to be Jeanette Gomez has full reproduction and distribution rights. You could include a link if you wanted to down here, but it's not totally necessary. You'll notice the ones in red are like the big ones you want to deal with. So here would be the photographer. Next would be a phone number if you wanted to do that. I know some people are a little iffy about the phone number out there, but in a way it lets people get a hold of you. So, and this would be your email address. And then if you had a website, you could do that as well there. And you could add more information, but that's the minimum. That's really what anything else would be above and beyond. So I'm going to hit create, and now I've got my template, and it's going to apply that metadata template on the time of import. So that's going to help me out quite a bit. Last but not least, if you wanted to, you could add in a keyword like headshots. You can even type in the client in case you want to go back and find them later. 2014. I'm going to get rid of this little 2007 thing that popped up there. So you can have all that ready to go. So I've got my file names, I've got my metadata template, and now I've got my destination correct, so I can click import. And they're importing into the catalog, and if you notice on the folders there's going to be whatever hard drive they're on and whatever folder they're in, and it's going to tell you how many it's imported. So I only did 5, which is the minimum, but you may have a lot more.